The intersection of sports and politics has always existed, and look no further than what we saw just a few days ago with Jaxson Dart and the President of the United States. Now, what exactly did Dart say? Let's listen in, and then I'll give you the update.
What's up, what's up, what's up? Big Blue Nation, it's a pleasure to be here. I got to start this off with a Go Big Blue. I'd love it if y'all will follow with me.
Again, very quickly, allow me to interject. Those saying keep politics and sports separate, you have the quarterback of the New York Football Giants starting the New York Football Giants' signature chant at a political rally, but I digress.
Go Big Blue, go Big Blue, go Big Blue, go Big Blue. What an honor, what a privilege it is to be here.
Ugh.
And without further ado, I'm grateful, I'm honored, I'm pleasured to introduce the 45th and 47th President of the United States of America, President Donald J. Trump.
So he introduces Trump, right? And they were rallying for Mike Lawler, a MAGA Republican out of New York. You know, blackface Mike Lawler. That's him in college. Yep. The jokes write themselves. So Abdul Carter, former number 3 pick out of Penn State, him and Jaxson Dart were actually in the same draft. He would tweet, "Thought this stuff was AI. What we doing, man?" A fair point. A very fair point. Then I believe the call came in and he went back to Twitter. Both of these tweets were deleted for some reason. "Me and JD6, as in Jaxson Dart, are good. We spoke earlier as men. Y'all can keep y'all narratives." You pushed it. What do you mean the narratives? It is very clear that you disagree with these stances, and you should. As a black Muslim man, you should. And you have good reason to. By the way, we don't even have to call Jaxson Dart JD6. Could just call him J6. So this is when Boomer Esiason, who played for the rival New York Jets, decided to have his name trend for the dumbest reasons possible. Here's what he said on WFAN.
This was a real error on the part of Abdul Carter, not on the part of Jaxson Dart. Jaxson Dart was asked to do something to introduce the President of the United States. How many people get an opportunity to do something like that, regardless of who the president is? You may not like
let me pause here. I think a lot of people, if you agree with this man's agenda, would get the opportunity. They'll give an opportunity to anybody. They give an opportunity to Vanilla Ice to perform at modern day Big H's compound. They will give opportunities, my dude, because they are not popular. These positions are not popular. When you protect the Epstein list from coming out, you are not popular. When you are the sole reason that gas prices have gone up, you are not popular. When you are the reason that people's interest rates are going up, you are not popular. So I would actually say there is no better time to introduce a president than right now. If they will give that opportunity to Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell, anybody can do it.
Like, you may have hated Barack Obama. You may have hated Joe Biden. You know, and some guys didn't want to go to the White House because they didn't like those presidents, just like other guys didn't want to go to the White House because they didn't like President Trump.
This is also the problem with centrism, is that you're making the false equivalency between Barack Obama and Joe Biden and Donald Trump. There is no comparison. And I don't even like either of them. And I can call this out because I could say, no, Boomer, you're actually being a boomer. You are being an out of touch boomer. When you say stuff like this, "Oh, well, people didn't go when Joe Biden was president." Yeah, cool. Don't go. But to somehow say that the reincarnation of the Big H in pretty much gender affirming care by putting on orange makeup every single day is the equivalent to Barack Obama and Joe Biden, that is insane. And should be walked back, but he won't do it.
You know, but to put this out like a child on social media is ridiculous. And then when I heard, yeah, we spoke man to man, yeah, there was only one man on that call, and that was Jaxson Dart.
Oh my God. Let me be clear. I put this in the rundown, right? And I saw like he responds. It's like, okay, here we go. And I wanted to have just like an organic reaction because I know this dude's politics. I know it sucks. I'm going to get into it more. But to say that there was only one man on the call when you have somebody that is defending a war criminal, rapist, sexual predator, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? There's only one man on that call, the white one. So doofus.
You were a man who was late to meetings. You were a man who didn't live up to your draft choice. You're a man.
He's in year 2. There's just 3. Year 3? What do you expect? What are you saying, that he should be putting up Myles Garrett like numbers? Piss off.
And who wanted to wear number.
And I don't even like the Giants. I'm a Bears fan. Everyone knows this, but we're objective. We call a spade a spade. You think that Abdul Carter is supposed to put up Reggie White numbers? You think he's supposed to be Michael Strahan on day 1? My God.
56. And by the way, your idol, number 56, has introduced Donald Trump numerous times. So I don't want to hear this. So he made another just boneheaded error by going to social media.
This is insane because Boomer Esiason is tight with Howard Lutnick. He's hosted him. So then Jamil Hill would go on CNN and sum it up pretty well.
Well, sports and politics have always mixed. I mean, they've mixed since the days of George Washington. What changed about this narrative of sports and politics not belonging together is when, frankly, Black athletes started to show more agency and started to speak more about some of the conditions that people in their community were facing, or even some of the experiences that they had. That's when it became, oh no, don't mix sports and politics. In this particular case, this was an unforced error by Jaxson Dart. Again, Donald Trump is historically unpopular. You are the quarterback of the New York Giants. What was the point? What is the upside in appearing at this rally? Now, he has a right to support whoever he wants, but Abdul Carter has a right to criticize his support of that.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. That's where I'm having a real problem, is that we're just giving Jaxson Dart a total pass. And the media has hounded and critiqued and tore down Abdul Carter for what? For what reason exactly? Because, oh, the quarterback spoke out, but he's the leader of the team, and also he's young, but he supports Donald Trump, so he's a patriot. And Abdul Carter, this black Muslim man who's going to Twitter saying, hey, what are we doing here? Because Jaxson Dart is, in a way, manufacturing consent for the anti-Muslim rhetoric that has gone on in this country and has also been elevated by the current white supremacist in the White House. He has every single reason under the sun to criticize Jaxson Dart and the current administration. You know why? Because this administration is making everyone's lives harder who, quite frankly, don't look like this dude right here and yours truly. Let's be for real about this. That is where the consistency just stinks. And it's why Boomer Esiason stinks. And many on the right stink. And centrists stink. It's because they don't have any consistency whatsoever.
And a lot of athletes, partly what makes them hesitant about talking about their political beliefs is that they don't want the blowback and they don't want the resistance and how people might feel about it. So yeah, his teammate, who is a Muslim, who is a black man in America, had every right to question him about what that support means, especially when you are considered to be the face of the organization and the sort of default leader of the entire team.
Exactly. I mean, yes, 100%. Yes. Now, what gets me is once more how so many, like Clay Travis, is saying that we need to remove sports and politics or vice versa, and yet he just loves seeing Jaxson Dart open for and introduce Donald Trump, when this is the same man who said Donald Trump is not a racist and he voted for Barack Obama. But of course, I digress. Terrell Owens, NFL Hall of Fame wide receiver, said to Boomer Esiason, "You're a bonehead. So him being late to meetings makes him not a man. Stop. Everyone has been late. So what? You were a high draft pick. I'm sure there are those that say you didn't live up to your draft status. You must be a Trumper too." Yeah, he is. Come on, T.O. But you know what he hasn't said a lick about? Interesting. Boomer, when are you going to talk about Steve Tisch? Oh, that's right. You're not. Because you uphold the status quo. So Jaxson Dart would then hold a meeting for the team, and Kayvon Thibodeau, Jameis, Brian Burns spoke. But you know who wasn't there? Abdul Carter. Now, the team would say that he was absent due to family obligations. And PFT, rightfully Pro Football Talk, not PFT commenter, wrote, which raises a fair question. Why not do the meeting when Carter was present? Yeah, how about that? It almost seems like if this were the case, and we'll take their word for it, that Jaxson Dart did this knowing Abdul Carter was not going to be there. But then, of course, he would double down. Jaxson Dart wasn't political at all, said Esiason. But I guess people would say that since he was there, he was supporting the president, which is fine. It is my privilege and honor to introduce the 45th and 47th president of the United States of America, but that's not political. The Dana White defense. On top of this, we would learn from JD Wolf at Midas News that Jaxson Dart's Instagram is quite political. And he agrees with many of the policies, including the endorsement of Mississippi Governor Tate Reeves. There would be more from Dart. In a video, Trump warned that Reeves was under attack from radical left maniacs. Well, Dart approved of that message. Then there was another one that I'm going to get to right here. This is the big one. President Trump's 20 promises to America. Stop the migrant invasion, carry out the largest deportation operation in American history, stop the migrant crime epidemic. You know who really liked that message? That would be QB1 for the Giants. Same campaign accused schools of pushing critical race theory, radical gender ideology, inappropriate racial content. QB1 approves. How about calling for changes to the electoral process? Same-day voting, paper ballots, proposals to limit voting access. Yeah, Jaxson Dart, fan of that. Big fan of that. There were also campaign montages that Jaxson Dart liked. He liked some AI stuff. He liked the Blacks for Trump group and MAGA rapper Black Donald Trump. He approved of a Dukes of Hazzard AI parody where J.D. Vance is sliding across like what was it? The Confederate flag and the hood of the General Lee vehicle. Those are tells as well. And there's much more here. I'll leave you to go. Oh, Charlie Kirk, he was a big fan of. So I'll leave you to go to Midas News to check that out. But I'm going to be very clear. Boomer Esiason can eat a bag of you know what. Because what he's doing is straw manning. And I don't think anybody should stand for it. If you can and are willing, please become a paid member here at TYT Sports. And or go to tyt.com/join. In addition, you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Appreciate it. Have a great day.